everyone. Welcome to my live. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Get your pens, your paper, and let's get ready to take some notes. My name is Natalie Palmer, Chef Natalie, Doctor of Clinical Nutrition and Functional Medicine, and welcome to my kitchen. We believe here in ElegantlyRaw cuisine, food is medicine, and your primary medicine should be. We teach people how to nourish their cells and their bodies with elegantly raw cuisine. We are focused on rebuilding the body from a cellular level. As a clinical practitioner in nutrition, my focus is on cellular health. So I teach my clients to eat a diet that's rich in living foods, foods that's anti-inflammatory and healthy for the body. So I am super excited that it's day 8 of my 21 days elegantly raw food. Specifically, we're focusing on elegantly raw breakfasts. And today we are going to make an apple sprouted buckwheat salad in a coconut hemp seed flax cream. Everything is raw, everything is healthy. So let's begin this recipe. And while I put my gloves on, please go wake up a friend, share the link, like, and subscribe. All right. I hope you had a great day. I know I did. All right. So we shall begin to make our delicious, elegantly raw apple buckwheat salad in a coconut hemp flax cream. And for this recipe, you would need, we'll start with the cream. We'll start with the flax cream. And for the flax cream, you will need some soaked golden flax, a sweetener, and the sweetener we're using dates. You can use prunes if you like. We'll add an apple for extra flavor and fiber. We will add some ginger. It's optional if you don't want ginger, that's fine. We will make a coconut milk first to get the base, the liquid base. And we'll add some extra hemp seed for some additional protein and some extra fiber and some extra omega-3s, all right? So let's begin making the coconut milk first. And then we will add some hemp seeds, and then we'll add the remaining ingredients. So to the recipe, the mug will add half cup of organic dried raw coconut flakes, or if you like, you can use a fresh raw coconut. We're going to use some warm milk, not boiling. We're just going to slightly warm because sometimes we like warm our breakfast meal to be a little bit warm. So we'll just blend this up and then we'll strain off the coconut pulp. And then we'll add the milk back to the blender and then add the remaining ingredients. So I tried not to add too much liquid to the mixture because I want the milk not too thin, a little bit on the thicker side of things, all right? And if you need more liquid as you go along, you can always add because the apples will add extra liquid to the milk, and the flaxseed has some liquid, and the dates also has some liquid from soaking here as well, all right? I'm just gonna get my measuring spoon. Okay, so now we'll just strain out the pulp from the coconut milk and then add that milk back into the mug. All right, we do a little squeezing here. Not much. Okay. Add the milk back to the mug. And now I'm going to add some hemp seeds. So it's going to be a hemp seed coconut flax cream. And I don't know if you've tried hemp seeds before. I'm going to add three tablespoons of hemp seeds to my milk. Right. So I don't know if you have had hemp seeds before, but hemp seeds are very nutritious. I consider them to be a powerhouse. They're packed with a very nice balance of healthy fat, omega-6 and omega-3s. And they are very high in protein, 10 grams of protein to 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds. And, as plant-based eaters, we're always looking for healthy sources of protein. So if you add more protein to your diet, especially if you're diabetic, you want to start eating with more on the protein side, as opposed to eating a lot of high sugar fruit, you can add hemp seed protein, 3 tablespoons, that's 10 grams right there. I suggest you have at least maybe 50 to 25 grams of protein in one meal, depending on what you do, your lifestyle, and how active you are. And that will help you to keep muscle mass. It will help you to be satisfied and full, help with weight control, amongst other things in the body. All right, so we'll blend the seeds up with the coconut milk. All right. Typically, I don't strain the hemp seeds. They don't need straining. They typically just melt away into the liquid. So there's no need to strain that. So now we're going to add to this an apple. I'm trying to put most things that have a high liquid content in the liquid base of the cream, and then the last thing we'll add in will be the flax. Right. So I hope you know that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and that's so true because apples are packed with pectin. Pectin is a soluble fiber which feeds your gut microbe. So you want to try and consume an apple a day so that you can feed your gut fiber. And the pectin in the apple is called considered a short chain fatty acid. Actually, it creates short chain fatty acids in the gut rather than called a short chain fatty acid. So that short chain fatty acid is what feeds the gut bacteria so that it will heal the gut lining and do any repair that's needed in your gut. So your apple all right. So you see the liquid content is increasing here by adding the apple in there. So now let me start adding the flax cream. I'm going to add the sweetener and I'm going to add a little piece of ginger. Ginger helps with digestion and it's very soothing to the stomach. So I'll throw my ginger in there. I'm going to add my flax here. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. And the flaxseed, I soaked 2 tablespoons of flaxseed in water, not a lot of water, just enough water to cover the seeds. And I'll tell you in a minute how you can prepare flaxseed so that it's easy to digest and very healing to the gut. And it makes the flaxseed more bioavailable for your gut, for your body to absorb nutrients. All right, so now we're going to add some soaked dates with the pitch removed, and we could probably put the soaked water in there as well because water is actually sweet. So we can add that water in it. And now we just blend everything up. You don't necessarily need to put the dates because usually coconut milk is sweet on its own. So you can leave it out if you like. All right, so I'm gonna let the cream just soak up a little bit there and thicken while we can make the salad, the apple salad, right? So it's actually an apple pear salad. So we're gonna do apples and pears together and to make the salad, right? So before I start making the salad, I want to let you know what's the best way to prepare your flaxseed. So you take your flaxseed and you soak it in a little bit of vinegar, like a if you're doing 2 tablespoons, yes, you do like maybe a teaspoon of vinegar, right? And you soak it in vinegar water for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then you rinse that off completely, and then you put those seeds back in a bowl with just enough water to cover the seeds, and then you let it soak and for it to get very slimy and thick. Um, the reason why we rinse it with vinegar is to help, first of all, help the seed to activate the seeds, also to kill any fungus or any bacteria or any mold, anything that's on the seed. Because during storage, you never can tell where the seed was stored and how long it was sitting there for. So the vinegar helps to kill any fungus or any mold, anything like that. So that's why I soak and rinse it in vinegar, rinse off the vinegar. Then I soak it in clean fresh water. All right. So that's what I do when I'm making a recipe that has a liquid content. If I was going to use flaxseed and the recipe is dry, say it's in crackers or say it's for like a crust or donuts or whatever, I would put the soaked flaxseed on a dehydrated tray and I would dry it, and then I would store it in a glass jar whenever ready to make a dry recipe that's using dry ingredients. If I'm making flour or something like that. All right, so let's make our apple salad. So you need an apple for this recipe, a pear or 2 apples. You can add some ginger. We're gonna add, you can use yogurt or cream. So tonight I'm using mac cream because my yogurt, I used up all my yogurt. And I'm gonna add another layer of protein from our sprouted buckwheat groats. I'm always looking for opportunity to add extra nutrition and nutrients to the recipe. And then we'll put a little bit of cinnamon powder for some added flavor. And then a dash of lemon to just kind of brighten up the recipe a little bit. All right, so let's begin by chopping up those apples. All right. And you dice them up in small squares. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. So good to have you here. And we do only raw foods on this channel. So if you're looking for raw, living food, simple recipes, wholesome recipes, you are in the right place. We create unique recipes here, very nutritious. And I show you so that you can thrive on a raw food diet and not be deprived of nutrition. Most times people just eat salads and fruits, and they are deprived because they're not eating a nourishing, balancing meal. All right, so that's my 1 apple. So I'm gonna do the pear now. And these the apples and the pears are packed with soluble fiber. Packed with soluble fiber. recipe is gut healing, high in protein, and no added sugar. All the sweetness is from nature and what the Father above has provided for our sweet pleasure. All right? All right. I'm just gonna grab my grater that's behind me so I can bring to the give me one. All right. So we're gonna just put a little bit of ginger in here. You don't have to, but any opportunity to add some ginger. I'm gonna put a little lemon zest. You can also do orange if you have oranges. And so to this I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of cinnamon, and this is the Ceylon cinnamon, the true cinnamon, and it's raw cinnamon powder. Okay? Optional if you don't want to put cinnamon there. And this is my mac cream. I'm going to add a little bit here to just you can use your base of mac cream. And mac cream is just macadamia nut blended a thick cream with water, coconut, plain water. I'm also going to add a little bit of my sprouted buckwheat in here. Sprouted buckwheat is also another complete protein, as I mentioned before. And let's just add a little layer of protein to your recipe. All right. So I'll just mix this up like a salad. You can enjoy this by itself. It's wonderful. Definitely enjoy this by itself. That's really good with the cinnamon, a little bit of zest, lemon juice. Smells really, really good. Oh, and I forgot to add to here. We want to add a little bit of digestive power with the mint leaves. Mint leaves are wonderful, helps with digestion, soothing stomach. So a little bit of mint in there. I also like to take the opportunity to add herbs to our raw food. It helps with digestion. It's very healing. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to plate our food. It's not elegantly raw until we plate the food. Um, I make the food look appetizing. We here at Elegantly Raw believe that you eat with your eyes and that the food must look very healthy and nutritious. So this is our flax cream. So this is do a lot of this for you. A lot in here. So now we're gonna put the apple salad in there. This is a huge meal. Like when you eat this, you will be filled. Absolutely full. A lot here. You're going to eat, right? All right. We also want to add some color to the dish. So I'm going to add my favorite thing, pomegranate. add my favorite. Add some pomegranates to the bowl. All right. So let's add some pomegranates to the dish. Brilliant color. Brilliant color. I want you to see how beautiful this is. Oh, you can just take a little bit of mint for garnish. There you have it. Look at the little bit of cinnamon for decoration. This is amazing. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And if you want, you can add a little bit of chopped up almonds on there. You don't really need it just for extra protein. So this is nourishing. It is protein rich, high in fiber, high in soluble fiber, not just any kind of fiber, high in fiber that will feed the gut microbes that will create protein fatty acids to repair your gut lining. And it's anti-inflammatory. So I want to show you this bowl here. You see this bowl, flaxseed bowl. It is amazing. All right, so I'll take a picture and send it over. Thank you for joining my live. Thank you so much for joining my live. Thank you so much for joining my live, and I'll see you again on day 9. We're almost to day 10. I'm very excited. So again, the call to action is add more anti-inflammatory foods to your body, build your immune system, eat more living foods, and if you need help, reach out to ElegantlyRaw and we come to your area. Bye for now.